Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are setting aside our usual programming to address a piece of heartbreaking news that has shaken the literary world and the Nigerian community at large. If you've been looking at the search trends in Nigeria over the last few hours, you might have noticed a massive spike in searches for one name, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Usually, when Chimamanda trends, it is for a new book, a sharp cultural commentary, or a viral speech that challenges our thinking. But today, the reason is one of profound sadness. We have received confirmation that the renowned author and her husband, Dr. Ivara Esege, have suffered an unimaginable loss. The family is currently in mourning following the passing of one of their young twin sons. In this video, we are going to cover what we know about this tragic situation, read the official statement from the family, and take a moment to reflect on the privacy they have requested. We will also look back at how Chimamanda has navigated grief in the past, specifically with her moving memoir Notes on Grief, to understand the depth of this moment for her. This is a heavy topic, so I ask that we all proceed with the utmost respect in the comments section today. Let's get into the details. Now guys, this is the breaking news now and the official details. Stay tuned. The news broke earlier today, Thursday, January 8, 2026. A statement was released by Chimamanda's communications team, signed by Omawumi Ogbi, confirming the death of her son, Nkanu Nnamdi. According to the statement, Nkanu was only 21 months old. He passed away yesterday, Wednesday, January 7, 2026, after a brief illness. I want to read the official statement to you verbatim, so we are clear on the facts and not speculating. The statement reads: "We are deeply saddened to confirm the passing of one of Ms. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie and Dr. Ivara Esege's twin boys, Nkanu Nnamdi, who passed on Wednesday, 7th of January 2026, after a brief illness. He was 21 months old." The statement goes on to say, "The family is devastated by this profound loss, and we request that their privacy be respected during this incredibly difficult time. We ask for your grace and prayers as they mourn in private. No further statements will be made." For context, Chimamanda and her husband welcomed these twins in 2024. The family has always been notoriously private. While Chimamanda is a global public figure, she has fiercely guarded the lives of her daughter, born in 2016, and her twins. This makes the public nature of this announcement even more heartbreaking. It is a moment of private agony that, by necessity of her fame, has become public news. Now the context, privacy and motherhood. It is important to discuss the context of privacy here. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is not just a writer, she is a cultural icon. But she has always drawn a hard line between her work and her home. When she had her first daughter, she famously kept the pregnancy and birth largely out of the media for a long time. She jokingly, but seriously, referred to her pregnancy hide strategy. She wanted to enjoy the experience of motherhood without the intrusion of the public eye. With the twins born in 2024, the approach was similar. Many fans didn't even know she had welcomed new additions to the family until much later. This fierce protection makes the loss of little Nkanu Nnamdi even more poignant. This is a child who was loved and raised in the quiet sanctuary of his family's privacy, away from the cameras. Reports indicate that the twins may have been born via surrogate, a topic Chimamanda has approached with characteristic nuance and openness in recent years to destigmatize fertility journeys for women. By sharing parts of her story, she has helped many, but she always kept the children themselves shielded. To lose a child at just 21 months old is a nightmare that no parent should ever have to endure. It disrupts the natural order of life. And for a woman who has given so much of her intellectual and emotional self to the world, this is a moment where the world needs to step back and give her space. Now the reflection, notes on grief and processing loss. Sadly, this is not the first time in recent years that Chimamanda has had to navigate public grief. We cannot talk about this moment without remembering her powerful work, Notes on Grief, published in 2021. That book was written following the death of her beloved father, James Adichie, in 2020. Tragically, she lost her mother, Grace Ifeoma Adichie, shortly after. In that book, she wrote about grief not as a concept, but as a physical, violent thing. There is a line from Notes on Grief where she writes, "Grief is a cruel kind of education. You learn how ungentle mourning can be, how full of anger. You learn how glib condolences can feel." She also described grief as an airless space. Today, those words ring with a new, terrifying weight. Losing a parent is a rite of passage, however painful. Losing a child is entirely different. It is an interruption of the future. We can only imagine that the eloquent voice that gave us language for our own grief is now silenced by a pain that perhaps has no words. The irony of being a writer is that when tragedy strikes, people look to you for words. But as the statement said, no further statements will be made. That silence speaks volumes. It tells us that this pain is beyond literature, beyond public discourse. It is just pain. Now the public reaction and professional impact, reaction in Nigeria and around the world has been swift and somber. Social media is currently flooded with messages of support. From fellow writers to political figures, and mostly from the everyday Nigerians who see her as a sister or a daughter of the soil. This tragedy also comes at a time when Chimamanda is professionally very active. Her novel Dream Count has been a major topic of discussion, with paperback releases and tours likely on the horizon for 2026. However, it goes without saying that all of that is secondary now. We can expect a complete halt to her public appearances. If you had tickets to see her or were expecting interviews, please understand that this cancellation is indefinite. The business of being an author stops when the reality of being a grieving mother begins. Conclusion: as we wrap up this video, I want to urge the Adichie Army and all our viewers to practice what the family has asked for: grace. It is tempting, in the age of the internet, to want to know what happened, or to speculate on the brief illness. Please, do not do that. Let us not turn a tragedy into a detective story. Instead, if you are a fan of her work, perhaps pick up one of her books today. Read Purple Hibiscus, read Half of a Yellow Sunday. Connect with the humanity she has always championed. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Chimamanda, her husband Dr. Ivara Esege, their daughter, and the entire Adichie and Esege families. Rest in peace, Nkanu Nnamdi. Thank you for watching. We will return to our regular content in the next video, but for today, we leave it here.